here's my argument. I'm going to introduce something that may be seen as new. The people that say that they are gender non-conforming or even transgender are demanding that the rest of us in society recognize their view of themselves. In other words, to conform. Excuse me, what? Yes, think about this for a second. People who say they will not conform to XXXY male and female are demanding that the whole of society, almost 90% of the population, must now conform to their view that gender is either fluid or a social construct or non-binary. In other words, they're demanding conformity from you. So the non-conforming are demanding a conformity. If somebody says they're non-binary and the choice is binary or non-binary, in essence, that in of itself is the binary. Now, what I'm going to read to you now or show you are some excerpts from the final report by the Nashville Police Department in concert with the Biden DOJ on the Covenant school shooting. Audrey Hale was suffering deeply from mental illness. And I quote, in her writings, Hale often made mention of her struggles with mental health and claimed these struggles began when she was a toddler. She claimed she had always been sensitive to loud noises and was easily frightened by large groups of children, large animals, adults. Even through these recollections written after Hale reached adulthood and therefore must be taken with a grain of salt due to difference in time, one thing which was certainly documented was her mental health history, which began in 2001 when Hale was 6 years of age. The report completely and totally whitewashes her alleged gender dysphoria. The therapist Hale saw was the therapist she visited periodically over the last several years. Upon noticing troubling behaviors with Hale, psychological assessment was performed. This assessment concluded Hale suffered from major depressive disorder, dysmorphic disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, social phobias, anger management issues, and was undeveloped both emotionally and socially. This assessment also concluded Hale didn't suffer from autism spectrum disorder, despite Hale's and her mother's insistence to the contrary. From this point forward, Hale began attending therapy regularly and began taking medication to manage her conditions prescribed to her by her psychiatrist. See, they tried to pivot into another direction, but she was not autistic, not by a long shot. It says it should be noted that in life, the offender, Audrey Hale, gender identified as male and used he, him as preferred pronouns. Tennessee law, a person's gender identity must correspond with their biological sex or with information present on their certificate of live birth, as Hale was a biological female at the time of her death, and throughout the incidents described in this summary and in the case file, Hale will be referred to as female. If you actually read her manifesto, which the report denies there was a manifesto, she angrily referred to herself as a male and the society around her as not caring for her or treating her properly. She fantasized that she had a penis and that she was male. At no point was she treated for this. The mental health industry, if you will, is now ignoring that this is part and parcel of insanity. Okay? What we're being told now is that unless we all agree that gender's fluid, that boys can be girls and girls can be boys, that we're going to get more of this violent behavior. And parents are told that they have a choice between a live son or a dead daughter. The mental health community failed Audrey Hale. Nobody told her that it was okay that she was a woman and that she should be comfortable in her skin and accept that she is a woman. She did what she did because she was suffering deeply from mental illness and a belief that it was society around her that was victimizing her for not recognizing her as a male. In other words, Hale, like others who claim they're transgender when they're not, have a lead character syndrome. They want to force you to conform to them while they call themselves non-conforming.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.